It started on a Thursday night at my firm's rooftop mixer. Amber stood beside me, sipping a margarita, already the loudest voice in the group. "You know what Brian needs?" she said, grinning at my coworkers. "A little chaos. He's like a walking instruction manual." Everyone laughed, unsure if it was safe not to. I smiled politely, trying to steer it back to light conversation. But she wasn't done. She poked my chest with her fingernail. "Come on, show them you have a pulse." I put my drink down. "Amber, don't do that." "Oh, relax," she said. "I'm teasing. They know it." I looked at the faces around the table. They didn't know what to do with their eyes. I said, calm but firm, "Jokes are fine until they start costing respect. Knock it off." The laughter stopped. Amber tilted her head, half amused, half annoyed. "See? That's what I mean. You're too serious." "And you're crossing a line," I said, standing. "Enjoy the night. I'm leaving." "Wait, you're leaving me here?" "I'm leaving the behavior," I said. "You can ride home with Mia or call a cab." The last thing I saw before walking out was her stunned expression, caught between embarrassment and defiance. At home later, the silence hit like a clean wall. Amber came in around midnight. She didn't speak. Neither did I. That night, I realized something important. When someone laughs at you long enough, they stop seeing you. And when they stop seeing you, you either stay invisible or you stand up. I'd just done the second. The next evening, she acted like nothing had happened. She opened a bottle of wine. "You really made a scene last night," she said. "Walking out like that?" People were talking. I was at the sink, rinsing a plate. "They were talking because you made me a joke," I said. "Oh, come on," she said. "It was just fun. Everyone knows I tease you because you're too serious." I dried my hands and turned toward her. "Teasing is fine when it stays kind. What you did wasn't teasing. It was disrespectful." She rolled her eyes. "So, now I can't even joke with my husband?" "You can joke," I said. "You just can't mock. There's a difference." Amber crossed her arms. "You sound like a policy manual already. This is exactly why people think you're uptight." "Then let me make it clear," I said, keeping my tone level. "No more digs in public. No jokes at my expense. No side-eye or eye rolls when I speak. If you start, I'll end it by walking away." Her face tightened. "Rules now?" "They're not rules," I said. "They're boundaries. I'm not here to be your punchline." Amber poured herself another glass, avoiding my eyes. "You really can't take a joke, can you? I'm just trying to bring you to life a little." "Peace doesn't mean lifeless," I said. "It means I can breathe." She shook her head and tried to change the subject. "We have dinner with the Millers on Saturday. Don't make it awkward." "I won't," I said, "as long as you don't make me a prop again." She laughed once, short and sharp. "You're unbelievable." I picked up my jacket from the chair. "Maybe, but I'm done being the entertainment." I left her standing in the kitchen, trying to decide if she'd just lost a round or something bigger. By Monday, things were polite on the surface. We spoke about groceries, bills, the weather, nothing that mattered. Then, at lunch, my phone buzzed. One of my coworkers had tagged me in a post. Amber had uploaded a short clip of me at my desk from the night before, tapping away on my laptop. The caption read, "Life with a spreadsheet. Wish me luck." The comments were predictable. "Spice him up, girl. Take him dancing. Looks like a robot, but cute." Amber had liked every single one. That night she was chopping vegetables when I walked in. "Nice post," I said. She smiled without looking up. "It was funny. People loved it." "Yeah," I said. "They loved watching my privacy turned into a punchline." She set the knife down. "You're overreacting. It's harmless." "No," I said. "It's another version of the rooftop. Same crowd, bigger audience." She gave a small snort. "You take yourself way too seriously." "I take respect seriously," I said. "Since we're apparently broadcasting our marriage, I'm setting new terms." She frowned. "What now?" "We're separating finances. I opened a new account. I'll transfer my share for bills and mortgage, but anything extra, you handle yours, I handle mine." Her face twisted. "That's ridiculous. We're married." "Then start acting like it," I said. "If you want to test me, pay for the experiments yourself." She leaned on the counter, glaring. "You're punishing me." "I'm protecting myself," I said. Amber laughed once, brittle. "You think this will last?" You'll get tired of this act. I'm not acting, I said. I'm done negotiating for basic respect. Her eyes flicked to the floor. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. The next morning, she didn't say goodbye before leaving for work. By the weekend, I'd started spending more time at Leonard's garage. He ran a small repair shop on the edge of town. Working there after hours felt cleaner than any conversation at home. Saturday evening, I was helping him replace a brake line when Amber's car rolled in. She stepped out in heels and perfume, way too dressed for an oil-stained floor. "There you are," she said, voice carrying through the whole shop. "Fixing cars now? Trying to feel manly?" Leonard wiped his hands on a rag and gave her a polite nod. "Evening, Amber." She ignored him and looked at me. "What's the plan, Brian? Join a biker gang?" I straightened, keeping my tone flat. "Just helping a friend." "You're avoiding your wife," she said, circling the workbench like she owned the place. "You can't run away every time someone teases you." Leonard's voice cut through the tension. "Maybe stop teasing then." Amber shot him a glare. "Excuse me?" He shrugged. "You keep poking him. Don't act surprised when he steps back." She let out a sharp laugh. "Wow, you've got everyone believing you're the calm hero now. Congratulations." "Amber," I said, "we're not doing this here." She folded her arms. "You're really choosing this dusty garage over me?" "I'm choosing peace," I said. For a second, something cracked in her expression. Then she masked it with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Fine. Enjoy your peace." She turned. Leonard watched the door close. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said, exhaling. "She's just losing the audience." He nodded once, went back to work, and we didn't speak about it again. That night, Amber's car was there, but she wasn't waiting up. Whatever we were building, she'd already stopped helping. 3 nights later, I came home from work and saw an envelope sitting in the center of the kitchen table. My name was written across it in her looping handwriting. Next to it, a note. "Maybe this will wake you up." Inside were printed divorce papers. Not official, just a template from some legal website. Half the blanks weren't even filled in. I stood there for a minute, reading every line. I wasn't angry. I was just tired. Tired enough to believe her bluff. So I grabbed a pen from the drawer and signed where my name belonged. When she walked in, she stopped mid-step. "What are you doing?" "Finishing what you started," I said, sliding the papers toward her. She blinked, then laughed. Too high, too forced. "It was a joke, Brian. You really thought I was serious?" "You used divorce papers as a joke," I said. "That's how serious it's become." "Oh, stop," she said. "You're being dramatic." I picked up my overnight bag. "No, I'm being clear. You wanted to see a reaction. This is it." She reached for my arm. "You can't just walk out." I didn't mean it. "You meant to scare me," I said. "And it worked, just not the way you planned." Her eyes went wide. "You're not really leaving." "I am. I've got a short-term rental near work. I'll send the address for mail and bills." "Brian, please," she said, voice breaking now. "You're overreacting. I just wanted you to care." "I do care," I said, stepping toward the door. "That's why I'm leaving before this gets worse." She stood there frozen as I walked out. I didn't slam the door. I didn't look back. The next week, Amber began her campaign. It started small. Texts in the morning. "Hope you're eating. Miss your face." Then photos of our dog, our kitchen, a memory of some trip we'd taken years ago. By Friday, she was waiting in the lobby of my office building with a paper bag. "Lunch?" she said brightly, like we were newly dating. "I've got meetings," I said. 5 minutes, she insisted, pulling out food. "I'm trying here, Brian." "You don't fix disrespect with sandwiches," I said quietly. Her smile faltered. "You're cruel, you know that?" I said, "I'm sorry." "Amber, you don't apologize. You perform. There's a difference." She blinked fast, the way she did when she felt the crowd slipping away. Then she turned toward the receptionist and said loud enough for her to hear, "He's always this serious." That was enough. I stood. "Lunch is over." That night, I ignored 3 calls. The 4th came as a voicemail, her crying, saying she'd ruined everything. The next day, she sent a picture of the kitchen table where the papers had been, empty now, captioned, "Can we start over?" I didn't answer. By the end of the month, the tone had changed. She came by my new place one evening. No makeup, hair tied back. "I can't sleep," she said from the hallway. "I keep hearing the quiet." Quiet's what you said you wanted to wake me from, I replied. I didn't know what that meant, she said, eyes red. I thought if I pushed, you'd show more. I didn't realize you'd disappear. I didn't disappear, I said. You just stopped looking in the right direction. She stepped closer. Can't we fix it? Not until you stop needing to win. She covered her face and nodded like someone who'd finally run out of words. Then she left, and for once, I didn't feel empty watching her go. Outside, her car sat for a minute with the headlights on. Then it turned the corner and vanished. That night, the silence felt steady, like something I could live with. When the official papers arrived, they came from an actual law office this time, not a website template. Amber had already filled out her section. The handwriting looked shaky, like she wasn't sure she wanted to finish. We met at the attorney's office on a Wednesday morning. She wore black, like it were a funeral. I signed quietly, page by page. She broke the silence. This isn't what I wanted, Brian. You put the papers on the table, I said. I just signed them. That was different, she whispered. I thought you'd fight for us. I did, I said. For years. You called it boring. Her lip trembled. You're really doing this? It's already done, I said. When we left, she followed me out to the parking lot. You're choosing emptiness over love, she said. I'm choosing peace over performance. Her eyes filled, but no tears fell. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said, but I'd rather regret leaving than keep regretting staying. That weekend, Leonard helped me move the last of my things from the house. He didn't ask questions, just lifted boxes and handed me tools. Amber stayed inside most of the time, pretending to clean. When we finished, she came to the doorway, eyes red, voice trembling. If you walk out, that's it. I know. Then say something, she said. Anything. I looked at her. You had a good man, Amber. You just wanted proof he could break. She froze. That's not fair. It's honest, I said. Leonard carried the last box past her, giving a small nod. I followed, closing the door softly behind me. No shouting, no final fight, just the quiet sound of something finished. The first week after felt strange. I set up a simple routine: run at dawn, shower, work, cook, read, sleep. No noise, no second-guessing every word. Leonard dropped by one Saturday with a case of beer. You look like a man who finally exhaled, he said. I am, I told him. It took a stack of papers to do it. He nodded, glanced around the place. She reached out again? A few times, I said. Mostly long texts about missing me, how she never meant to hurt me. Last week she sent one at 2 in the morning, a full apology. Did you answer? No, I said. There's nothing left to fix. She burned down the stage and still wanted an audience. He nodded slowly. Then you did right. After he left, I read her last message one more time. She wrote that she couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and that she'd give anything to undo what she started. I didn't feel triumph, just relieved that the storm was behind me. The divorce was finalized 3 months later. No court drama, no lawyers fighting. We divided what we built, the house, the savings, even the furniture, like two people splitting silence. When the paperwork came back stamped and done, I sat on the balcony. She'd tried to scare me with those papers once. Sure, I'd beg her to take them back. But when I signed, she finally saw what she'd been poking for, my limit. Now, the quiet isn't heavy. It's earned. I go to work, come home, cook my meals, and sleep through the night. I don't replay her voice, or the rooftop, or the kitchen. I just breathe. She wanted chaos. I chose calm. And I've learned that peace doesn't need witnesses, just a man who finally stopped volunteering for the fire. Thank you for watching.